I'm here today to give you an update with respect to the investigation into the deaths of Lucas Fowler and China Deese, which occurred in northern British Columbia last week. The investigation into the double homicide of 23-year-old Lucas Fowler and 24-year-old China Deese continues to progress. Investigators from the North District and BCRCMP major crime units are continuing their efforts. We can now confirm that China and Lucas were the victims of gun violence, and that their van, a 1986 blue Chevrolet van with Alberta plates, was owned by Lucas Fowler and was being used by the couple to explore northern British Columbia. Investigators are working through a number of tips and tasks, including speaking with individuals who saw or spoke to the couple, analyzing forensic and digital evidence, along with reviewing hours of CCTV and dashcam video footage. The number and types of specialized services and units and investigators continues to fluctuate based on investigative need. Today, we're asking for the public's assistance in identifying a man whom investigators wish to speak with. The man, seen in this composite sketch, was seen speaking to Lucas on the evening of July 14th, 2019 on Highway 97. He is described as Caucasian, with darker skin and dark hair. He's shorter than Lucas, who stood 6'3", and has a possible beard or glasses. The man may be associated to an older model Jeep Cherokee with a black stripe on the hood and black light or bull bar with small lights with covers. He was believed to have been traveling southbound. In addition to the composite sketch, on our website, we will be releasing video footage taken at a gas station in Fort Nelson on July 13th, 2019. That video surveillance footage shows the couple arriving in Lucas's van at approximately 7:30 p.m. and departing the gas station at 7:47 p.m. All those materials will be available on our website following this media availability. The Fowler family have arrived from British Columbia and have been meeting with the police over the course of the last few days. The Deese family continue to receive regular updates with respect to the investigation and currently have no plans to visit British Columbia. The BC Coroner's Service is continuing their investigation into these deaths and will not be providing further updates at this time. The Fowler family has graciously agreed to be here this afternoon, and Chief Inspector Stephen Fowler will join us following the media availability to provide some brief comments. Police are again appealing to the public to come forward and speak with investigators about any interactions or conversations that you had with China or Lucas, about observations regarding their van. We've also seen on social and mainstream media many accounts from people who have information for investigators, and it is imperative prior to sharing that information with anybody else that you speak to our investigations so you can give us that information firsthand and your first account. If you have information in relation to the man seen in this composite sketch and can help us identify him, or information relating to China or Lucas' death or their van, you're asked to call the Major Crime Tip Line at 1-877-543-4822 or locally 778-290-5291. We have two major investigations within the northern BC. We are mindful that this is an area of seasonal tourists and travelers and campers from abroad, as well as motorists and businesses moving from BC, Alberta, and the Northwest Territories, the Yukon, and Alaska. We are asking those who may have been in the area during the times we have listed and may have information or seen anything or have dashcam video to please call our tip line. With respect to public safety, we share the concerns that are being raised given the tragic and unusual nature of these two investigations that we have underway. We would like to stress the importance of heightened vigilance and awareness for anybody traveling in and around the area. We encourage people to camp in known or established areas and locations. In addition, general safety precautions continue to prevail. Make sure your family's aware and have a plan. Make sure your family's aware of what your plan is. Establish check-in times and provide updates. Stick to those update times. If your plans change, please ensure your family and contacts are aware. Thank you. Sure. I want to be clear, this man is not a suspect. He is a person with whom investigators wish to speak and are interested in speaking to. With respect to the vehicle he was last believed to be associated with is a older model Jeep Cherokee with a black stripe on the hood, so similar to a racing stripe that would go from the lights up to the windshield. A black light or bull bar with small lights, which were covered. He was believed to have been traveling southbound. Now, we recognize that this man may not have been aware that that investigators are interested in speaking to him. So if this is you or you know who this is, we ask you to please call our tip line so that investigators can contact you. You know what? I don't have that detail. If I can get it to you, David, I will.
We heard from a witness that on the Sunday night there was an individual who was seen with Mr. Fowler and Miss Dees, and there seemed to be some sort of heated exchange going on. Is this the same person that was talking to Lucas, you believe?
So the information that we have is that there was a man who was seen speaking to Lucas Fowler, and that is the individual that you see in this composite sketch here. With regards to the heated exchange, that's not the information that I have. There was a conversation, my understanding is, and that's why investigators are looking to speak with this individual who may have information.
Did the witness provide, though, the one who gave this sketch, give any indication of what they may have heard as far as what the tone was of that conversation that was happening at the time?
It's my understanding that there were no words that the witness could speak to, that they witnessed it as they were driving by and then provided the composite sketch.
Can you elaborate any more on a potential motive for the double homicide here? I mean, you referenced how concerning it is to the public. Can you definitively rule out the public is not at risk from this, potentially? You also can't rule out that it is potentially a serial killer at this point. Can you say, were these two targeted? Was it a crime of opportunity? Motive, sexual assault, robbery? Can you give the public any sort of information on her?
Yeah, I mean, Sarah, I recognize that those are questions that you really want to have answers to, and those are questions we're looking for the answers to as well. We are absolutely looking for anybody who has information with respect to that. And certainly, as the investigations, as you know, investigations are fluid and dynamic, and we have information coming in. We're certainly looking for the answers to those questions that you're asking as well.
What can you tell us to make us understand why you believe these investigations all may be linked to each other?
Well, we can't say definitively they are. We certainly are open to those possibilities, and our investigators are speaking to each other, sharing information, and certainly looking at the possibility of that they may be linked. Understandably, that this is it's unusual to have two major investigations undergoing of this nature in northern BC at the same time, and so we recognize that there is a possibility that these could be linked.
How concerning is that? Just, I mean, from the perspective of the RCMP, this is obviously has international media attention on it. This is very rare that we would see something like this, a potential serial killer on the loose in a very remote part of the province. How concerning is that to you as an RCMP member seeing something like this?
Well, I mean, I recognize that there are concerns with respect to people's safety, and I want to ensure that people are aware that we're doing everything that we can in order to ensure that we can advance this investigation to the best of our abilities and find the person or persons responsible. We're reassuring the public that to take proper safety precautions and ensure that you have a plan. And I mean, I recognize that there are concerns, and we're doing the best that we can, and we have resources that are able to surge in, support those investigations, and have surged in and in supporting the investigations.
Was Miss Dees sexually assaulted?
I don't have any information relating to that.
How unusual is the cluster of incidents like this? When's the last time you saw something like this? Double homicide and then one
Well, I don't have specific statistics relating to that. I can tell you that in my time here, it is unusual. I mean, we have seen homicides, but generally speaking, not of this nature.
Are you working with K Division at all? There was Project Care that was looking at Highway 16 as far as several years ago.
At this point, there's no indications that any previous or ongoing investigations relating to Highway 16 are related to these investigations in northern British Columbia at this point.
Do you believe the suspect might still be in the province? Have you engaged authorities in the Yukon and Alaska?
I mean, we're sharing information with everybody, and that, I mean, the investigation is ongoing and active, and that will be part of any, just like here today, we're sharing information with the public because we want to get information. So certainly we are sharing with policing partners nationally, internationally, across provincial
Have
with.
you been in touch though with policing partners in the Yukon and Alaska?
Certainly, we're sharing, just as we would in any investigation, that would be part of our investigative protocols in order to share information so that if somebody has information that can help us support our investigation, that they get in touch. So just last question here.
Can you speak to the complications of investigating a case like this in a rural area as opposed to an urban area where you might have more witnesses, cameras, that kind of thing out there in the country, not many buildings, not many gas stations, not many cabs, not many cabins? Is that a complication in the investigation story?
Yeah, I mean, certainly at this point, we're looking for anybody that has dash cam video. We recognize that that is, one of the advantages of now technology, that a lot of people have dash cam video or may have been out and taking nature shots and seen this very identifiable 1986 blue van, or have information relating to China and Mr. Fowler in other regards. So, I mean, yes, there are some difficulties. That being said, we are the RCMP and we have the ability to bring resources in, specialized resources in, and stand alone in an operational capacity should that be required. But certainly we recognize that, we are still asking for people, if you have not already spoken to police, you have dash cam video, or you have information relating to their disappearance, to please call our tip line.
Are you operating on the theory that Cam and Breyer are alive or dead?
Absolutely. We're hopeful that they are alive. And anybody with information in relation to that investigation is also asked to call our tip line.
Your colleague spoke to it before, but
So, sorry.
your colleague spoke to it before, but can you just elaborate on the possibility of two teams being suspects in the death of China and Lucas?
I don't believe that we're entertaining that as a possibility at this point. We are certainly investigating them as missing persons, and we're hopeful that they are going to get in contact with us when they see this news information and this broadcast going out. But I don't believe that is something that we're looking at this point. We are investigating them as missing persons at this point. So the father is Chief Inspector Stephen Fowler is here, and I want to allow him an opportunity to come in and say a few words and have an opportunity to see you and speak with you. So I don't want to delay that much more. I will be available after. If you have questions, please feel free to email me. So Chief Inspector Stephen Fowler, if you will, thank you very much for joining us.
Good afternoon. As you know, I may be an experienced police officer, but today I'm standing here as the father of a murder victim. We are just distraught. This has really torn two families apart. Our son Lucas was having the time of his life travelling the world. He met a beautiful young lady and they teamed up. They were a great pair and they fell in love. We were overjoyed for Lucas. He came to Canada and he planned a trip in a van with China. We'd been talking about it. We'd been discussing his trip, and he communicated with us as they were leaving. What happened after that? Time will tell, I guess. We are hopeful of a positive outcome, and obviously we're appealing, along with the RMCP, for anyone to contact who may have any information whatsoever, however little, please contact the police. I'll take questions.
When was the last time you spoke to him? Was it Thursday?
There are some difficulties with the dates because of the time differences between Australia and Canada, but we're in contact within hours of him leaving on this trip.
Mr. Crowe, can you tell us a little bit more about your son and his relationship with his girlfriend and kind of what they brought into each other's lives?
Look, Lucas was just a fun-loving guy who, you know, had a goal to travel the world. He saved up all his money whilst he was working in Sydney. He set out on an adventure with a mate. Along that tour, he met China, and they became an inseparable pair. You know, it's a love story that's ended tragically. It really is. It's the worst ever love story, because we now have two young people who had everything ahead of them tragically murdered.
Mr. Fowler, you've brought some colleagues with you to BC. Wondering if you can just speak to the capacity that they are here with you and your family and how they are taking part in the investigation as well.
I'm very grateful to the Commissioner of New South Wales Police. The police and the Australian government have bent over backwards for my family and I. They have provided me with support, and part of that support that was offered was the services of two of our detectives to act as liaison between the family and the RMCP.
Inspector Fowler, will you be travelling up north to what was happening?
We've got no specific plans in place at this stage. We're taking it a day at a time. It's extremely difficult for all of us, and we just hope to be able to take a breath. And
When was the last time you spoke to him?
as I say, we were in communication. Because of where he was, we were using services available at the time, but within hours of him leaving on this trip with China.
Sir, are you satisfied with the investigation to date? Comment on what you guys have been
I know there's been a lot of speculation, but look, as an experienced police officer, I know how these investigations go. My family and I are more than satisfied with the resources of the RMCP that they're putting into this, and I can tell you I am more than confident in the commitment of all the officers who are working on this case.
Mr. Fowler, if you feel comfortable speaking to it, you kind of addressed it when you first got to the podium, but you're used to doing what we were seeing sergeant doing in New South Wales. How surreal is it for you to be sort of on the other side of this tragic situation here in Canada?
Look, as a police officer, you work with families all the time, and you get a feel for the lay of the land, as you see, but nothing prepares me. Nothing prepares my family for what we are going through now.
Be able to take one last question.
How concerned were you when you heard about the other incident previously that led into this situation?
I'm not going to be drawn into anything in relation to the investigations that are taking place by the RMCP.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you all.